What's good YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul and welcome to another remake video. Today we'll be making Young Thug's The London featuring J. Cole and Travis Scott, so let's get straight to it. First things first is going to change our tempo to 98 beats per minute, and we're going to start off with that main sound that we hear throughout the entire record. So I'm going to go here and bring in Logic's ES2 synthesizer. And we're going to pull this slider up right here. We're only going to be using oscillator number 1. And return that to a sine wave. We'll manipulate that sound in a little bit. Let's just draw it in that pattern. Drag this out a little bit here. All right, then we're going to draw on our next pattern here. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate that. All right, so that is our main sound. Let's go and open up ES2. And what we're going to do here, we'll select this to mono. We're going to bring down the cutoff. We're going to bring down the sustain completely. We're going to pull up the attack. And we're going to use our decay to make it last a little longer. We're going to pull up our release just to kind of give it a little bit longer release time. All right, so let's go ahead and close that up. Next, let's go ahead and create a new software instrument track. And we're going to bring in a piano here. Go to Piano, Steinway Grand Piano. Let's close this for now. Let's copy down the same pattern. And we're just going to take out everything here. Don't want any effects on it. Just turn this off here. For the piano, we're just going to take this root note over here, and we're going to pitch it down. Well, not pitch it down. We're just going to layer that up to sort of create a little bit of a chord there. All right, so now that we got those two sounds together, let's go ahead and create a track stack of those two sounds, and we'll manipulate it as one instrument. The first thing we're going to do is bring in an EQ, and we're going to filter out a lot of the highs. And then we're going to filter out some of the lows as well. Just clean that up like that. Let's lower up our sine wave a bit so it's not so loud. Next, what we're going to do here is bring in a reverb. Let's go Logic Space Designer. And now we're starting to get that sound. Let's go ahead and bring in, let's go to Large Space Hall. Want something long, like over 4 seconds here. So let's take that one. Let's lower the WUD value. And on our output EQ, I'm going to cut out some of the lows so that it's not so muddy with that reverb. That's a little cleaner. See how it cleans it up. All right, so there's our main sound right there. All right, next let's go ahead and create another instance within this instrument right over here. And we're going to bring in another piano. This time we're going to bring in a different type of piano. We're going to copy down the same pattern over here. It's going to give us a little bit of a different tone. And for our EQ, let's take out the compression and the tape delay as well. Take out this, we don't want it. For our EQ, what we're gonna do here is just make it focused on sort of like the mid-range point. Let's focus in, I'm just gonna remove this sound for a second here, sorry, this channel EQ. So we can really focus in on this sound. I'm gonna filter out some of the lows as well. And they're just gonna boost this up to make it really like telephony. All right, then let's go ahead and apply this main EQ back on. Maybe I'll pull it out of that pack over there. Let's bring this in. And I'll put some reverb on its own here, just a little bit. All right, next let's go and create a new software instrument track. And we're gonna create that flute sound that we hear. All right, and for that sound, I'm just gonna close this side here. We are gonna bring in Logic's Vintage Mellotron. And let's just use that for now. And then we're gonna go ahead and change up the sound. Let's just draw in the pattern. And that just essentially repeats itself. All right, for the Mellotron sound, it's sounding a little screechy right now, but for sound A, we're gonna go over and select flute. And we're gonna do a little bit of a blend here right in the middle. And for our sound B, we're gonna go over to brass. We're gonna pull up the tone all the way, and we're gonna lower our tape speed one click. So that's gonna be one of our flutes right over there, but we're just gonna bring in an EQ here. Just gonna filter out a little bit of the highs. Maybe a little bit of lows there, really nothing there. All right, next let's go ahead and bring in some reverb on this sound here. We're gonna go to a sound that I like to use, the bomb tail. And we're just gonna lower the wet value. All right, next let's go and create a new software instrument track. All right, so for this sound, we're gonna bring in a flute. Let's go to orchestral woodwinds, well, flutes. And we'll copy down the same pattern. All right, for this, I'm just gonna go ahead and add in a bit crusher here, just to give it a little bit of grit. We're gonna use the 8-bit classic preset here. I'm gonna lower it up a bit. I'm just gonna drive it a little bit. And we're gonna mix it with this. And we get this. All All right, next let's go and create a new software instrument track. And let's get to some of the drums. I'm going to bring in Logic's EXS24 sampler instrument, and I'll be bringing in the London drum kit. Now all of the drum sounds you hear in this drum kit is from my Essentials drum kit. I'll place a link in the description box below this video. It's got a lot of the sounds that you'd want for trap music or today's trap music. It is the Essential kit, and once again I'll link that in the description box below this video. But these are the sounds that are part of that kit. Let's go ahead and start off with the 808. All right, so let's go down to our 808. Drawing that pattern. Go down. Go up. So right there, my 808 is overlapping each other. Let's go ahead and make sure mono is selected. And then I think we go down here, back to the B. All right, and that pattern just repeats itself. Let's do that. I'm just going to take out a little bit of the highs here. Something like that. Next, let's go ahead and duplicate this track, and let's go ahead and take off this channel EQ, and we're going to draw in our clap. It's on the 2s and 4s. I'm going to bring in some reverb here. Use Logic Space Designer. Bring down the wet value, don't need it so loud. All right, next let's go ahead and duplicate this track, take off the reverb, and let's go ahead and draw in our hi-hats. All right, so let's go ahead and change over to our brush tool. We're just going to draw on 16th notes. Just repeat that a couple of times. Lower that up. All right, let's go ahead and duplicate this track. And let's go ahead and draw on the kick. I believe the kick was up here. There's the kick right there, make it nice and loud. A little punchy kick. And that just repeats itself. Oh, not like that, but like that. So there's pretty much the main pattern. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this over, and we're going to work on our second section over here. Actually, we forgot one more drum track, and that is the perk. Let's go ahead and draw that in right now. There it is right there. Just follows the same pattern. Duplicate that. Now in the track itself, it was a little bit like a metallic sort of synthesized perk hit. So we're gonna go over to our EQ, and we're just gonna filter out some of the highs here. And let's filter out some of the lows. All right, so that sounded good like that. I'm just gonna pitch it up a little bit here. Pitch it up 3 semitones. And then we're gonna bring in, to get that metallic feel to it, we're gonna bring in a modulation chorus. And I'm just gonna not pitch this up, but bring the mix up a lot. Maybe I'll use another preset here. Let's use this one. All right, and then the mix, it sounds like this. All right, that sounds good like that. Now we can get to our next track. Let's create a new one. All right, so for this sound, let's go ahead and open up our browser. We are going to go to synthesizer, and we're going to go to bell. And I believe the preset that I wanted to use was metallic bell right over here. So it's sort of like this glimmery, shimmery sort of metal sound that they put in the track. Now, I'm probably not going to get it exact because it's a hard sound to make or recreate, but we're going to try our best. So let's go ahead and draw in that pattern first, and then we'll manipulate the sound. Before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and change our grid here. We're going to go to custom, and we're going to change our grid to 64ths. Let's bring it in with our drum kit here. All right, and we change back to a pencil tool, and we get something like this. It's pretty much going to follow the same chords as or same notes that we used at the beginning. Let's pitch that higher. Something high like that. Something high like that is good. All right, and we're just going to go ahead and shorten this so it's like a quick hit. So it goes 1, down, down, and down. Maybe I'll push this over a little bit. All right, and let's go ahead and push this over. One more. I think we need 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Except this is, we're going to go back up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to push this here, this here, this here, this here. And then we're going to duplicate this over. We're going to duplicate it over once again. All right, let's move over to our next bar over here. And we're going to copy this over once again. Let's copy this over. Except the pattern changes a little bit. Something like that. Let's go ahead and copy this over. Copy it over. I think I did too many there. Go copy it over again. Actually, I believe, sorry guys, this is going to be pushed over one bar completely to that. All right, and then all we're going to do here is take this one over here and copy it over. And we get something, whoa, copy it over to here. Follows the same pattern as that one. And nothing happens in the last bar. All right, so now we can go ahead and start messing around with this sound to get it closer to the one in the track itself. I'm going to change this back to 16th grid, just so we're not confused. All right, so for the sound, let's open up Alchemy. We're going to change this over to staccato, gets more of that metallic sound. We're going to pull up our attack like this to about, I want to say 10 o'clock. And we don't want that delay that's happening, so let's go ahead and turn that off. All right, so now we got to get it sounding more metallic sounding. We're going to go over to here and bring in Logic's chorus. We're just going to use the default settings to load up. And then we're going to go ahead and bring in another modulation effect. We'll go to flanger. And as you can see, it gives you more of that metallic effect. Just use that preset right over there. All right, sounds good. Next, let's go open up our EQ. And I'm just going to filter out some of the highs. Maybe a little bit more there, something like that. I'm going to pull back this. We get something like that. And then finally, I'm going to bring in some reverb. Oh, that's a channel EQ. I'm going to bring in some reverb, Logic Space Designer. We use bomb tail. And we'll lower the wet value. And this is what we get. Except we're going to take out these flutes here, and it goes something like this in the track. That's when J. Cole comes in. Once again, it's not exact, but we're trying here using stock plugins in Logic. All right, and lastly, let's go ahead and I'm gonna create a new software instrument track, and we're just gonna bring in a piano, a real piano. Another piano comes in play. It's sort of not going to be, it's going to be untouched and just sounding like a piano itself with no filter. So we're going to go ahead and use a Yamaha grand piano, and we're going to use the same pattern that we did in the above. Except I'm going to lower this one octave, and we get something like this. I think that comes in when Young Thug part come in. All right, so that's pretty much all the elements to the track itself. So I'm going to go ahead and put a pause on the video, quickly arrange it, and then come right back. All right, so we are back right here. I just put together sort of a truncated version arrangement of the track itself. Before I hit play, just want to let you know I did create another instance of the flute track right over here. And I just pitched it down one octave just for this section over here. It's the same flute that we did before. But I figured when I was listening to the track back, I needed to add something else there, and that's what that was. All right, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Listen to Remake we just put together, Young Thug's track, The London, featuring J. Cole and Travis Scott. Let's go. That right there is Young Thug's track, The London, featuring J. Cole and Travis Scott. For you Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys. Place that as a downloadable link in the description box below this video. For you non-Logic users out there, got your back as well. I'm going to go and export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit that we used in this tutorial. You can find that entire playback in the description box below this video. Once again, if you do like the sounds from here, you can go ahead and get the Essentials drum kit that has more sounds like this for all you trap and hip hop producers out there. Links will be in the description box below this video. That's it for me, guys. If you do have any questions on this, you can ask me in the comment section below. As usual, if you did like this video, remember thumbs up and share it. And if you're new to I'm a Music Mogul or you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button for more good videos like this one. I'll talk to y'all soon. Later. Peace.